Welcome to season 2 of Trojan Poetry.
Oh yeah, right. Oh gosh. We've gotten off to a good start.
Here we go. Well, you know what? This Monday, ladies and gentlemen, is an eclipse of the moon, and we won't be there to see it, but if you go to southern Illinois and in the middle of the country, you'll be able to see it. And so in honor of the eclipse, we've chosen a poem. Actually, I chose the poem. John hasn't seen it yet. We've chosen a poem about the moon. Here we go.
All right.
Moon Fishing by Lisel Mueller. When the moon was full, they came to the water, some with pitchforks, some with rakes, some with sieves and ladles, and one with a silver cup. And they fished till a traveler passed them and said, "Fools, to catch the moon you must let your women spread their hair on the water. Even the wily moon will leap to that bobbing net of shimmering threads, gasp and flop till its silver scales lie black and still at your feet." And they fished with the hair of their women till a traveler passed them and said, "Fools, do you think the moon is caught lightly with glitter and silk threads? You must cut out your hearts and bait your hooks with those dark animals. What matter you lose your hearts to reel in your dream?" And they fished with their tight, hot hearts till a traveler passed them and said, "Fools, what good is the moon to a heartless man? Put back your hearts and get on your knees and drink as you never have, until your throats are coated with silver and your voices ring like bells." And they fished with their lips and tongues until the water was gone, and the moon had slipped away in the soft, bottomless mud.
Wow. You've done it.
What's that?
You've done it. This is an awesome poem.
Season 2.
Yeah,
we gotta bring
our
bring the
game.
moon here, bring the thunder. So what stood out to you, John?
Okay, we've talked about this. The first thing that hit me was with the pitchforks, and I instantly thought of a crowd of people chasing Frankenstein.
Yes,
which never happens in the book, of course, but we've all seen that scene.
It's
in
great
the movie.
drama, yeah.
And after that, I kind of kept thinking about Frankenstein, and I totally was not paying attention to the rest of the poem.
Should I reread it, John?
So I kept trying to catch up, and of course, I realized that there was a structure.
Okay, good.
And that there was kind of like a fairy tale, that the three things happen. Of course, it has a very fairy tale-like mood or tone. And then you got the three things. Fairy tales often have three things happening in them, of course. And the way it was kind of mystical and magical. But I don't really feel like I have a sense of... obviously, they want something. I need to read the last stanza again, I guess. So you talk, and I'll read the last stanza.
Well, I have to say, and as an English teacher, I was kind of embarrassed that I had not heard of Lisel Mueller before, but apparently she won the Pulitzer Prize for a poetry collection back in '97, and she won the National Book Award, I want to say in the early '80s when I read about her. And she was born in, I think, Germany and escaped from Nazi Germany in 1939 and went to Evansville, Indiana, where her father was a professor. So I thought that was really interesting. I don't know necessarily that plays into the poem, but I thought her life story was kind of interesting because apparently all of her poetry is like this. It's very like dreamlike and mythical and fairy tale-ish. I guess the big thing that stood out to me is that idea of silver. That image pops up. You know, there's one with a silver cup at the stanza at the beginning. And when I got to the end and they have to drink the water to try and get to the moon, I thought, maybe there's the one guy with a silver cup who had the right idea from the beginning, and they're trying all these crazy ways to catch something that's not catchable. And then the second thing I wondered when I first read this is, why do they need to catch the moon?
That's what I was just thinking.
Like, what's so great about this? I mean, it would be pretty cool, but what are they going to do with it, you know? That's never really explained. And then I thought, well, maybe there's a pattern here, because the first one, they have to fish with the women's hair, and it's going to be a fish. The moon will flop with its silver scales. And then the second one, they have to cut out their hearts. And then the third one, they have to drink and coat themselves with the silver of the moon, and they'll ring like bells. But then they don't get that in the end.
Yeah.
You know, so...
And as you're saying, like, it seems like, who are these people? Right, and why do they want the moon? And why do they instantly change their ideas just because a traveler passed them? It's not an expert, right? It's like, there's kind of a mob trying to capture the moon, and they keep getting like told different
sidetracked.
things, and they keep following some other voice.
Right.
Like they let other people control, and I'm totally just spitballing
That's a
it
good
here.
point,
Like I
but,
have no
yeah.
idea what's going on. But yeah, so the last stanza, and they fished with their lips and tongues until the water was gone and the moon had slipped away in the soft bottom. So they drank the lake.
They drank the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the moon had slipped away.
Slipped away, right? It's already gone. Like you can never, this is something they can never catch, but they're going to keep trying, and they're going to try things based on what people tell them, which don't make any sense, right? Or
Right.
but they sound beautiful, right? I mean, there's a very romantic kind of, not fun, but kind of beautiful images.
Yeah, because the things they're doing are so drastic, right?
Right.
I don't know how they are fishing with their women's hair. So I'm picturing the women laying out, and then they have hooks on the end of their hair, and then they cut out their hearts, but they're able to live despite that.
Well, yeah, okay, so in the
and-
line, you must cut out your hearts and bait your hooks with those dark animals. What matter you lose your hearts to reel in your dream? So really the question, what does it mean to lose your heart? Because the heart, I mean, the heart is described as a dark animal.
Yeah.
So,
which is a cool description.
So much, right? And I guess now trying to go back, right, looking for that juxtaposition or the tension of the positive and negative kind of playing off of each other, and trying to figure out why the author wants that tension, or what is the juxtaposition.
Yeah, the
being used
darkness
to
of the
do.
hearts versus the silver of the moon. Or did you see
Right.
other things going on there?
Well, you either have a heart or you reel in your dream, but I mean, most people wouldn't say I want to lose my heart,
Yeah,
but
to
it's
get
good to
one
have
after.
a dream. So which is more important, and can't you have both?
Yeah, why couldn't they catch the moon through all these crazy...
Well, you can't.
Yeah, well, I guess... so thanks, John. It's not
Just
possible.
in case, yeah.
You must be the traveler, the fourth traveler, who's like, guys,
Yeah. Yeah, right. Stop.
what are you doing?
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Don't try to capture it.
Well, I like what you were saying earlier about how it's a mob, and they're so easily swayed by these people
Right.
coming by. So maybe that's part of the commentary, too, is... these guys who are using brute force with pitchforks and rakes.
Right. Because when
to
you
try and
say a
catch
crowd
something.
has pitchforks, to me that's such a not universal, obviously, but that's a big symbol that's been
Yeah.
around for a long time.
Yeah.
And to use it without wanting to infer that,
That's charged.
or imply that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
Not
it's a
infer, imply
charged
that, yeah.
image,
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But then, you got the sieves and the ladles and the silver cups. So it's a mob, but it's a mob full of people of different, attitudes.
types,
Or,
yeah. Yeah.
They fished, I don't know. It's a mysterious...
Very mysterious, very cryptic, perfect for
Yeah.
an eclipse, I
For the
thought.
eclipse,
This one really
yeah.
stood out to me when I was looking for one. And so you kind of actually asked a question earlier when we were just talking about, losing your heart to achieve your dream. It seems like these people are willing to do that. Is that something is it worth it? And why can't you have both, like you just said earlier? All right, so we're going to go to our sharing segment now, and John has a really cool book, I think, an amazing book. He wants
Yes,
to show us.
before that, though, we are in season 2, and so we're going to have some new things coming up. Obviously, we've switched places. You're not seeing
It's
things.
huge. This is
right?
huge.
I'm going to be honest. Looking from this side of the set is a totally different experience.
I know. I mean, I'm reading poetry at such a higher level, being on this side.
Now you
it's
know
been
how I
pretty,
did it.
It's been pretty amazing.
You know how I did it
Yeah,
now,
I know.
all
I
these
was
years.
wondering. I was wondering.
But we are going to try some new things this season, and we would like to thank everybody who's watched.
Yes,
and maybe,
thank you very much. To all our viewers out there, one of you, both of you, thank you. We really appreciate it.
But I did want to bring up this book. Our first episode of Trojan Poetry ever was about Walt Whitman, The Noiseless Patient Spider. And I forgot that I had this book, which is it is Song of Myself, and then it's illustrated by Alan Crawford. So we'll put these up in separate shots, but every page is illustrated, and it's handwritten. I have to believe it's handwritten.
It looks like it.
Right.
It has to be.
Every page has these just insanely kind of fun, mysterious, powerful images. So this is just a really great book. I would say it's really hard to read the book. This is not your reading copy of Song of Myself, but it certainly does make you think and begin trying to connect, of course, why he's choosing the images he's choosing and all that.
Yeah.
And one thing we'd like to do maybe this season of Trojan Poetry is when we have a poem, maybe show an image, right? Or maybe a song, part of a song or something like that. So hopefully you'll look at this. Again, it's illustrated by Alan Crawford. I'm sure you can pick it up at any local bookstore, or they can order it for you. So maybe give that a try.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Very cool.
It looks like those psychedelic kind of concert posters from the 60s.
From the 60s, yeah.
And when we looked at the forward, the artist said he spent over 2,500 hours putting this together. And you can tell, I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So there it is. Give it a try. Thanks for watching. Please join the conversation in the comments on YouTube or on Twitter at Trojan Poetry DGN. Also check out our website at trojanpoetrydgn.blogspot.com.
Welcome to
3, 2, 1.
season 2. I didn't realize that's what you meant. Yeah, I thought we were gonna do the geeky, like we say it together, right?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like we both say season 2.
Okay,
right? Or is that too cheesy?
No.
Are we gonna say the whole
choral
thing? Season
reading.
2 of Trojan Poetry, or just say
No, I
season
don't wanna
2?
do that.
All right.